Before we start, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss this one. Olivia Miles was hurt. Everybody knew it. She was supposed to sit, rest that ankle, maybe play it safe. Instead, she walked into Washington on one bad leg and tore the Mystics apart anyway. Friday night, the Minnesota Lynx on the road, one win away from a perfect 4-game sweep. The Mystics had other plans. Nobody in that building expected a show. What they got was a war. 24 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, a 94-84 win that pushed the Lynx to 16 victories in their last 17 games. And she played all of it just 2 days after twisting her ankle in San Francisco. 2 days. That's it. Let's back up, because this story is way bigger than one box score. Olivia Miles was supposed to be Chicago's problem to solve. 2 years ago, the Lynx made a quiet trade with a struggling front office. They gave up a late first-round pick for future draft capital. Nobody blinked. It looked like nothing. It turned into everything. That one small trade eventually handed Minnesota the rights to Chicago's first-round pick, no strings attached. That pick turned into a lottery selection. And with it, the Lynx took Olivia Miles. Chicago didn't get her. Minnesota did. And right now, that one decision is starting to look like a full-blown heist. Because Olivia Miles isn't just a good rookie. She's the front-runner for Rookie of the Year. She's in the MVP conversation, as a rookie, on a team that already has a 5-time All-Star. Think about how rare that actually is. Most rookies spend their first season learning the pace of the league, adjusting to the physicality, finding their role. Olivia Miles skipped all of that. She walked in and started running the offense like a 10-year veteran. Coaches around the league have started game planning around her specifically, and it still isn't enough. That's not a talented rookie having a nice season. That's a franchise cornerstone announcing herself. Now here's where the game gets tense. Washington came out swinging, hitting 11 of 19 shots in the first quarter and grabbing a late lead off a big three-pointer. For a few minutes, it looked like the Mystics might actually steal this one. Then Natasha Howard took over. She'd been pulled just 4 minutes into the game because her coach didn't like her start. She came back angry. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. She dragged Minnesota into a 10-point cushion, and the Lynx carried a 7-point lead into halftime. But Washington wasn't done. Not even close. The Mystics clawed all the way back in the third quarter, cutting the lead down to a single point. 1 possession. The whole game hanging by a thread. Then Courtney Williams answered with a 3-pointer and a couple of free throws, and Minnesota walked into the fourth quarter up by 8. That's when Olivia Miles decided the game belonged to her, under 2.5 minutes left. Washington still fighting, still believing they could pull this off. Miles read a turnover, took off, and finished a driving layup that stretched the lead to 6. You could feel the air leave the building. Kayla McBride buried a 3-pointer on the very next possession, and just like that, it was over in everything but the final horn. McBride finished with 18 points. Williams added 13 points and 8 assists. This was a full team effort, but everyone in that arena knew exactly who the story was. A rookie playing through real pain and still looking like the best player on the floor. And here's the part that makes it almost hard to believe. 2 days before this game, Miles rolled her left ankle in a win over Golden State. She was listed as probable heading into Washington, which in sports basically means a coin flip. Instead, she went out and shot 10 for 22 from the field, hit 2 threes, and controlled the entire fourth quarter like nothing was wrong at all. It got even tenser from there. Miles picked up her 4th foul in the third quarter. Her coach, Cheryl Reeve, pulled her out to protect her. Miles didn't want to come out. She asked her coach to leave her in. Reeve said no. Then Miles picked up a 5th foul in the fourth quarter anyway, and with the game still hanging in the balance, Reeve had no real choice left. Her best player went right back in, foul trouble and all. That's the difference between a good rookie and a franchise cornerstone. She didn't want to sit down. She wanted the ball in her hands, bad ankle and all. Let's talk about her season for a second, because the numbers are almost hard to believe for a first-year player. 20 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, over a steal a night. She's shooting better than 40% from three-point range, and Friday wasn't a one-game outlier either. It was her 6th 20-point game in her last 7 outings. Over her last 3 games alone, she's racked up 6 steals. She's not just scoring the ball, she's actively hunting it on the other end too. And Minnesota as a team is dangerous right now. 31 wins, 7 losses. 16 wins in their last 17 games. They just swept a brutal 4-game road trip, and they did it while resting Napheesa Collier. their 5-time All-Star who's still working her way back from 2 separate ankle surgeries. Think about that for a second. A team can rest one of the best players in the entire league and still walk out of enemy territory with a win, thanks to a rookie who refuses to slow down. And it's worth pointing out just how much was stacked against Minnesota walking into this one. They were on the road, deep in a grueling 4-game trip, without their best two-way weapon at full strength and leaning on a rookie playing hurt. Teams lose games like that all the time. Minnesota didn't just win it. They controlled the 4th quarter from start to finish once Olivia Miles decided enough was enough. Now, Washington deserves real credit here too. This wasn't a blowout. Kiki Iriafen had a big night, putting up 19 points and 13 rebounds, her 16th double-double of the season. All 5 Mystics starters scored in double figures. They led in the first quarter. They were within 1 possession in the third. They fought hard the whole way through. They just ran into a buzzsaw wearing a Minnesota jersey. And that buzzsaw had Olivia Miles' fingerprints all over it. Now let's zoom out, because this is where the story turns almost cruel. Back in Chicago, the team that could have had Olivia Miles is sitting in 12th place. Just 4 wins, a 3-game losing streak, same league, same season. One franchise watching a former draft asset turn into an MVP candidate somewhere else, while their own roster can't find any footing at all. That's the kind of gap that gets people in front offices very nervous, very fast. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, Cheryl Reeve is pulling double duty as head coach and general manager, and she's making it all look easy. She engineered the trade. She drafted the player. Now she's coaching her toward Rookie of the Year. There aren't many people in professional sports who get to say they built a superstar in the front office and then developed her from the sideline, all in the same year. So where does this leave the Lynx heading down the stretch? In complete control. They've already locked up the season series over Golden State, the team chasing them for 2nd place, which means Minnesota controls its own path to the top seed in the entire conference. And with Olivia Miles playing at an MVP level as a rookie, fighting through injuries, foul trouble, and everything else the schedule can throw at her, there's no reason to think this team slows down anytime soon. 24 points on a bad ankle, a layup that broke Washington's back, a coach who tried to protect her and simply couldn't. That's the story of Olivia Miles beating the Mystics. And if this is what she looks like, hurt, in the middle of a brutal road trip, then the rest of the WNBA should be genuinely worried about what she looks like, fully healthy. This is just the beginning for her. And every single team still trying to figure out how to guard Olivia Miles is quickly running out of time to solve that problem. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed, because there's a lot more coming.